Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the first O365A podcast of 2022. And tonight we're going to talk about what's coming in 2022 that we're excited about, both in terms of Microsoft Teams and Microsoft 365, and some of the things we'll be working on this year that we find exciting. So, Habib, I'll turn it over to you, and why don't you tell us what you're looking forward to this year?
Yeah, I think, this past years, I think, Microsoft pumped out a lot of features and with regards to like editing and compliance and all that good stuff. So a few things that I'm looking forward to, given that, I work in Ottawa and it's mainly a Canadian federal government space. So the multi-language meeting invites, being able to apply policies for multiple languages so that we can have the official languages in English and French for the community. Next one is the I've been doing a little bit of work in the compliance space as well. So interesting to see that in the advanced e-discovery, you're going to be able to support Teams reactions. So you'll be able to discover reactions on messages and posts inside the Teams channels and stuff like that from an e-discovery perspective. So be interesting to see how that is going to be used and what the use cases are. And then lastly, is also in the compliance manager as well, which I think is going to be relatively huge, is automated testing and documentation of scored actions in the compliance manager. So right now, for the most part, anything in the compliance manager is self-attestation. So you have to actually go and physically check to see if those actions are complete. So for instance, like you have a conditional access for MFA for all users, right? So then you have to go and validate, make sure that's checked, and then come back into the compliance manager, upload an attachment in there and say, yes, this has been completed. And then you get a score, just like you get with the secure score, like that type of score. So it tells you how compliant you are to specific controls like NIST 833. There's also Canadian Cyber Secure Score. There's a bunch of different ones in there, obviously for like the US and EU as well. So from the automation perspective, this is very exciting to see, so that it'll actually automatically go and check if you have that stuff there and document it from that perspective. And then so from that, sort of what I'm looking forward to this year. From an M365 perspective, personally, hopefully get to see you guys again and everybody else. I was walking, I have it almost already on the back of my door. I have all the lanyards of all the conferences that I've been to. So I was like, man, I really want to get some more of those lanyards on, but who knows what'll happen. But hopefully we can move forward a little bit. So I'll pass it on to Dino. What are you looking forward to, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, the year's starting off fairly well for me. I'm working on another large enterprise voice deployment on Teams, and also getting a lot of governance work coming my way all of a sudden. And it's not something I normally do a lot of, but there seems to be a lot of smaller organizations, mid enterprise type, that just don't really know where to start in terms of how to govern teams correctly. So looking for some insight on that. So that's kind of new. It's always good to step out of your comfort zone a little bit, for sure. In terms of, I got 3 features that kind of pique my interest. And the first one is new Power Automate actions coming for Teams, and those will be the ability to launch like a new meeting, like ask to create a new meeting, be able to send chat messages, post messages to Teams. Some of this, there are some existing functionality with Power Automate in Teams, but they're continuing to extend that. So that's kind of cool. Be able to see that. So looking forward to trying that out. Q&A is coming to Teams meetings. So what you're used to seeing in live events, you can now, hopefully, will in the near future be able to do Q&A and Teams meetings. So both in moderated and unmoderated capacity. So I don't know if that they're slowly kind of putting the brakes on live events and just rolling all the functionality into Teams meetings. I think we may see that at some point but either way, it's nice to be able to have that functionality. A lot of people ask for it in Teams meetings, and Teams meetings are just way easier to set up and run for most users. And lastly, direct guest join to Zoom and WebEx meetings for certified MTR for Android devices is coming. So up today, you can only do direct guest join on MTR for Windows devices. So they're going to be releasing that functionality on Android. So that's exciting to see. With that, I'll pass it over to Michael.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's a lot more of the same. So still doing a lot of calling projects. So getting off of PBXs, decommissioning legacy infrastructure. Starting to see an upswing on meeting rooms. So hopefully the inventory and stock starts to replenish because of the global chip shortage. So we're starting to see not just meeting rooms, but network planning for that hybrid work. So bringing these new technologies back into the office, using technology refreshed meeting rooms, and really planning for that and the network impact. So we're seeing a lot of that kind of transition now. Of course, during this time, we don't know if that's going to get pushed out further, but maybe it's aligning now with procurement. But what's interesting is I'm getting pulled into a lot of contact center now. So the first couple of years of this time was get telephony to the users, where their handsets are collecting dust and they're not in the office. But it was always like, let's leave those contact center agents on the legacy infrastructure. Let's do VPNing or whatever like that. And now IT is comfortable now that they've been managing cloud telephony and they're managing the AV in meeting rooms, that they're taking a crack at contact center to finally put the bullet in there, those PBXs. So a lot of contact center work I see coming from that side. I've also taken a note of maybe Dino's book of getting into software dev. So I have a side project coming, some news on that in the near future, but some of the pain points in a lot of the projects that I've been working on, trying to build a solution that kind of supports some of that resolving some of that pain. For Microsoft announcements, a lot of the new devices that have been talked about or shown. I may have a device that is off the screen, is not in view right now, but there's definitely some interesting hardware that's coming out. Some of the features like front row view. This may change how people are sizing displays in their meeting rooms. They may have to go to much larger displays, different placements. So it'll be interesting to see how these features to unlock hybrid work actually kind of change how people are getting ordering hardware and what the type of hardware is. From hopes, any improvements, updates, features that come to AutoTense and CallKey is always a welcome addition. So they bridge that gap between full contact center and just kind of some advanced routing. So would love to see some more features in that place. What else we have? I would love to see, better tracking of rollout of features. So as a customer, knowing what features hit my tenant, what users have that feature, I think that is a big piece. When Dino's talking about governance, just planning ACM, planning changes, knowing what has been shown is available or not. I think that's a big one. For the meeting rooms, initiating a whiteboard from a Microsoft Teams room, either Windows or Android. I think that's a feature I would like. And then, like Hava saying, in-person conferences, I hope that is a thing in 2022. And I really hope that my children don't go back to online schooling. So we'll see. My kids are back to school this week. So we'll see how long that lasts. It's a crazy time right now, but that's my hopes. And with that, maybe I'll flip it over to Curtis.
Wow, you guys don't give me much to talk about, because I can tell you kids being in school is my number one hope for 2022. definitely. Yeah, in terms of Microsoft Teams stuff, I'm looking forward to. I've talked about this before. I'm really looking forward to it. So Microsoft Teams shared channels. The feature is actually called Teams Connect, and I think we've all struggled a bit with external collaboration in Microsoft Teams. Specifically that Teams membership. There's ways to do it today, of course, but it can be a bit cumbersome. There's the whole guest account that's required for an external user to be a proper citizen inside a team. So Teams Connect really gives us the ability to invite an external user, either a customer, a partner, or a vendor, with their own identity without a guest account in the host Azure AD directory to participate in a team. And they don't have to be a member in a channel, and they don't have to be a member of the parent team. And this holds true even for internal users. So you can invite an internal user who's a member of another team to participate in a channel, a shared channel, without being in the membership of the parent team. And that'll just open up a lot of flexible collaboration with less friction. And the biggest thing that we'll cut down on is the need to do tenant switching. And if anyone's used tenant switching in the Windows client, of course, there's a client refresh that has to happen. It takes some time. It's a bit of a pain. So I think shared channels, aka Teams Connect, will be a huge win for Microsoft Teams and just improving the collaboration capabilities. So I'm looking forward to that. On the Microsoft 365 front, one of the things that's sort of small, but I'm really looking forward to it, is I'm a visual person, and I like diagrams. There's a lot of good third-party diagramming tools out there, but Microsoft made a big announcement, I think it was back in like November, that they were going to ship a free version of Microsoft Visio in most Microsoft 365 plans. So I think that's now rolled out to most tenants. It's in my tenant. And just having it there and accessible all the time, and of course integrated with the other Microsoft 365 apps, I think that's going to be a huge win for just collaboration again in 2022. So I'm really looking forward to that. In terms of stuff I'm working on, Quest Software will have a governance solution coming out that works with Microsoft Teams, and as everybody on this call has pointed out, that's top of mind for people as Microsoft Teams is deployed more and gets out into more customer seats. And also just as a user of Microsoft Teams, I'm excited because there's more and more apps built for Teams, and it's exercising probably the number one strength of Microsoft Teams, and that's it's really a development platform. So I've already, just the whiteboard story is improved, and you look at Microsoft Loop, which was announced at Ignite recently. Just the ability to do live interactive collaboration with other Teams users is going to be huge, and should really up the ante for effective collaboration. So net, I'm looking forward to just increased, better collaboration going forward as we all adjust to lockdowns, no lockdowns, and all that good stuff. And I hope we're really able to go to a conference in person, because I think we're all pretty tired of the virtual experience. So that'd be great. So that's it for me. Anything else from you guys?
No, I'm just looking forward to another year of podcast with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. What's this, our third year?
This is year number 4.
Wow. We could have done a university degree. Which, if you replay 4 years of our podcast, it is equivalent to a university degree, right? All right, folks. Well, it's been a pleasure kicking off the year, and we'll see you on our next episode. Bye-bye.
Yep.